Right, video diary for Monday, the 11th of July. Basically, the weather around here is absolutely foul. Well, it hasn't stopped raining now for about 24 hours, which is great news for the ski slopes, because higher up, of course, that is snow. They've now had the largest snowfall for donkey's years, typical, isn't it? None for ages, and then a whole load comes along at once. Anyway, I'll come on to that in a minute. Right, catch up. Thursday. Well, finishing off from my Thursday diary, in the evening we went for a drink at the place called the Trout in town with Jason's dad, Jeff, Bob, Sue's husband, and Jason, me, and a friend of Jason's called Matt, who Alex works for his wife, who runs the magazines. Very expensive place, the Trout, to drink, so after a while we tropped round to another place called Pembroke's, which is, I don't know, it's a kind of sort of off-licence, on-licence. It's sort of, you drink in a shop, really. It's quite funny, but excellent prices, and a very good night out, so can't complain there. Bob left his car there, and we all got a lift home with Glenys, Jason's mum, which was quite good fun. And that was Thursday, really. Now, Friday, I'm afraid to say Bob and I did postpone the trip to Milford Sound because the weather was too dodgy, really. We kept getting warnings of chains to be carried, towing vehicles not allowed. So I just phoned them up and I postponed it till next Friday, so we'll have to catch up on that one next week. The weather is supposed to clear up about Thursday, but there you go. So on Friday, Bob and I went to Cromwell and a place called Clyde, and they have actually built a dam at Clyde, which has turned part of the River Clutha into a great big reservoir, which had the unfortunate effect of completely burying the town of Cromwell, or Old Cromwell, underneath the waters of the reservoir back in the 50s, and so there's only very little of the old town left. But in Clyde, it's a very old-fashioned town of typical New Zealand, I suppose. Looks a bit like the American Wild West, actually. I have put some photos up of that. And it's we went into one place. It was just a pure drinking place. It's like tables and chairs, or not tables and high stools, or people are there only to drink. No, absolutely no ambience whatsoever. And it's just purely a place for people to go drinking. We then found another place, which was an old post office, I believe, which had been converted into a bar come tea shop. And we had the most enormous scones I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the sort of things Marjorie would have made to last us a week between all of us. So that was a bit OTT, but there you go. And that was Friday, really. Saturday we all got very excited because they threatened to open the ski slopes on Treble Cone, but so first of all we got up in the morning and we went and watched Ethan play rugby again. Well, I didn't see very much of the game actually because we got there late, and then they left his man of the match trophy from the previous week at home, so I rushed home and got that and got back at the end of the game, and he rushed off for a shower because it was absolutely belting with rain and freezing bloody cold. Then we, in the afternoon, we went and saw Jamie play soccer again, or football as they call it over here, which is very indoor stuff. And meanwhile, we went off, between her two games, we went off to a place called Base Ski Har Shop, owned by a guy called Johnny, who's a friend of Jason's. And we hired some skis for me and got some repairs done on Jamie and Ethan's skis. Oh, by the way, Jamie's got a new helmet, which looks like something out of the Olympics now, which is quite funny. And I hired these skis. They're all short and fat these days. These skis hardly come up to my chin, which is very odd for me. Oh, yes, and we went round to Glenys's house, and I got hold of the equipment she's got for me. It's brilliant, actually. Just one small problem. The ski suit is bright yellow, so she says I'm going to look like a bumblebee and nobody's going to lose me on the slopes. Some guy left it there about 10 years ago, but it's absolutely brand new. Brilliant. Even a pair of boots, gloves, the lot. So I'm not complaining, so I'm now kitted out and ready to go. So come Sunday morning, we were ready to go steaming off to up the mountain to go for our first ski, because they said they weren't going to open the upper slopes because it's too dangerous. They've had so much snow, it's now, believe it or not, an avalanche danger. They were going to open the nursery slopes, which has a little ski lift on it. Probably about the size of the sort of thing you get in England as a sort of indoor ski slope or whatever, or outdoor ski slope, sort of practice things they put up in England, but would have done for me to get going. But unfortunately, it was blowing 120 kilometre per hour gales up there, so no, they didn't open it again. So we had a snowball fight in the front garden, the kids and I, which was quite good fun, and blazed around for the day until the afternoon, when I took the kids to Paradiso. Now, Paradiso is the most amazing cinema on the planet. It's actually where they held one of the premieres of the original Lord of the Rings film, because it was filmed around here and they were promised it. But anyway, that's another story. We went and saw Kung Fu Panda 2, which is a cartoon film that I'd never heard of before. But Paradiso itself is, as I said, quite amusing. It's more like a sort of cafe with a cinema attached. Well, cinema is a loose term. It has a big proper screen, it has a proper projection room, but they're like the Zens. The seats consist of all sorts of things. There's even an old Volkswagen Beetle in there, which you can sit in. There's sofas, there's a bus seat which we sat on. There are some cinema seats, but it's sort of very weird. Unfortunately, it's closing shortly, so it's going to have to move. Apparently it's moving to the old Catholic church, so we'll see if they keep up the same ambience of the place. But it really is quite amazing. That was Sunday. Jason cooked the meal, and but that was it really. Now I'm sitting here on Monday morning, and I have to take the skis back I've never used. Oh yes, I forgot to say, on Saturday night Jason had a few friends round, and we all watched the final of where it's a Super 15, which is the equivalent to the Rugby Heineken Cup from the Northern Hemisphere, which was Christchurch Crusaders versus Queensland Reds. Not too good a result from the locals' point of view, because I'm afraid the Reds won, but there you go. But the Christchurch lot have such superstars in them as Richie McCaw and Dan Carter, but unfortunately their services weren't good enough to make the Crusaders win, so that was a bit of a disappointment. But we did get through an awful lot of beer and a few whiskies, so that was good fun. And there we are, really. I'm sitting here on Monday morning. It's absolutely peeing it down with rain. Everybody's gone to work again. And I'm about to trot into town, and we'll take it from there. Okay, speak to you again soon. I just forgot to mention SeniorNet on Thursday, which was actually quite worth a mention, because it was a bit of a laugh, really. Yeah, Bob and I trotted off to this, what's the old school at Wanaka before they built the new £20 million one. And there was a guy there who was giving a lecture on Picasso, which I use quite a lot, the photograph thing, and he was quite funny, actually. Very sexist jokes he came out with. One was a cracker, actually. He said, for my daughter's 18th birthday, I gave her an iPhone. When I had my birthday, I was given an iPad. And when my son had his 16th birthday, we gave him an iPod. And when my wife had her birthday, we gave her an iRon, which still has a left-hand button and a right-hand button and a middle button. He said, I will be recovering from hospital in the near future. Anyway, it was quite funny, but we only stayed for an hour, because basically I knew that's a programme inside out and back to front. But they're quite well organised, and there are loads of them there. So the old Silvers are learning all about computing as much as anybody else. Anyway, just a little add-on, I thought you'd like to know, or maybe not.